I'm here to talk to you about a robbery that occurred near Piedmont Park at the intersection of Monroe and Park Drive on July 27th at approximately midnight. At that time, there was a male that was walking near the park. He intended to cut through the park but hadn't made it to get to the MARTA station. He was playing music on a set of AirPods that were in his ears, and I'm sure wasn't quite paying attention to his environment because somebody was able to sneak up behind him. Consistent with another robbery we'll talk about briefly, he was grabbed from behind in a chokehold and brought to the ground. At that time, another male who was with them began kicking him and hitting him. And then a third party, we believe is a female based on some previous information, stabbed him several times. Resulted in some fairly serious injuries. The male's still at Grady Memorial Hospital being treated. He was robbed of his items that included a wallet, a cell phone, some other items like that, and then the suspects fled. On July 18th at approximately 10:30, 10:40 in the evening at about 7:31 Peachtree, a similar incident occurred with a similar MO and similar suspect descriptions. A male was grabbed from behind, although this time they were able to entice him by saying that they knew of a party and did he want to go with. This male had been drinking. He was from out of town. I think he decided that, okay, well, I'll go check this out with them. Walks a few blocks with them. When they get him into an isolated area, they then grab him from behind, bring him to the ground, kick him several times, and then he's stabbed 8 times. He spent several days in the hospital and is now driving his way home after being released. Obviously, we have some pretty serious concerns here in that there's a certain level of violence in both of these crimes that we don't commonly see. The stabbings were both pretty serious, and both victims were hospitalized or have been hospitalized for an extended period of time. Also, both were consistent in that these people were walking alone. They were by themselves. One had been drinking, the other one had AirPods in his ears, so he wasn't completely cognizant of his environment. What we're really encouraging people to do in this situation is, if you're going to be out late at night, if at all possible, have somebody with you. That's always better. But 2, if you're going to be out late at night, try not to walk around with earphones in your ears or something like that, so you at least kind of are aware of your surroundings. We have limited suspect descriptions at this time. There were 2 black males and a black female. One was 5'10" with tall hair, a gray sweatshirt. The female's 5'6" with twists in her hair. They're not overly detailed. One male was wearing a black hoodie, has a low fade. So we're still working through it. Now, we do have some substantial leads in that the victim's credit cards were used. But the problem with that is we've had a bit of a delay from Chase Bank in trying to get records back on that. So we're hoping that we can expedite those records, and that should help us process through the leads that we do have. So we feel like we can have a successful investigation into this case, but what we'd like to do is get moving faster before another one of these occurs. I'll take any questions you may have.
With the stabbing part of it, are they resisting the robbery, or they?
Neither party indicated that there was any level of resistance because they were grabbed from behind in kind of a pseudo chokehold, which they both describe as being similar, and so they're on the ground really quickly. So I don't know how much resistance they're able to put up at that point.
What's with the stabbing then? That's so odd. Like, why stab them if they just grab the cell phone and run and go?
Yeah, we can't figure that out. So that's one of the reasons we're talking about this, is because that stabbing portion of this is pretty uncommon, because at the point that they have him on the ground, they kick him a few times. I think they probably could get what they want without that piece. So I'm not really sure why they're doing that.
So you think this is the same group that attacked both individuals?
We believe both of these cases are connected, yes.
Is there a third case?
That's what I asked.
Not that I'm aware of.
With 2 of those reports are related to the same case.
Oh,
If you look at them,
negative one.
there were 2 17s done.
Which
Okay.
victim do you have the credit card information on?
We have credit card information from both victims.
So the credit cards were used after the crime?
That's
in both
correct.
cases?
Hmm.
Okay.
And no video, right?
So far, no video. And we've scoured the area, including our own cameras, and haven't come up with anything at this time. If we had video to release, trust me, we'd be releasing it.
Yeah. Do you think these suspects are school age? High school?
They were described as late teens to early 20s, so they're young.
And you said it was 2 guys and a girl?
We believe so, yes. The one victim says that it was either 2 guys and a girl or maybe a third male, but the first victim was completely clear that it was 2 males and a female. And since everything else about it is similar, we believe that's consistent.
Where were the credit cards used? Do we know?
I'm not going to discuss that.
Does the brutality of the crime suggest that it could escalate?
That's our biggest concern here, is that, we've had these stabbing incidents and the injuries have already been fairly substantial. We really don't want this robbery to escalate into a murder situation. So, I mean, anyone who has information about these people, and I'm sure there are people who are well aware that this is going on and know the people that did this, are encouraged to contact Crime Stoppers, because we really need to put an end to this before they kill somebody out there. And everybody involved in this has been completely innocent, doing their own thing. They're random victims just picked out because they're by themselves and isolated.
And your July 18th victim is from what state? You mentioned an.
California. So he went back to California. I believe he's from the Los Angeles area.
And you said all three of the suspects are African American?
That's correct.
So I'm just wondering, what do you need the public to do now?
Well, we really need the public to contact us. Anybody that has information needs to contact us about the suspects, obviously. And then two, we need the public to do a couple of things, because we've had several crimes now where people are either not paying, we don't believe should be paying a little more attention if they're out late at night by themselves, right? Unfortunately, in certain situations, if you're isolated and by yourself and you're not paying attention, you kind of, and we're not blaming any victim here, but you set yourself up a little bit to be a target. So if you're not looking around your surroundings, then these kinds of things could potentially happen. Now, we would like people to pay better attention. We're dumping resources into the area, so we've added extra patrols, we've added undercover units, we're going to add crime suppression units to the area. But even with all of that, we can't guarantee anyone's safety, and we certainly can't guarantee it if you're not paying attention. So it helps you to be paying attention to your surroundings.
How important is Piedmont Park to the city?
Well, I think it's probably the city's most substantial park, so it's incredibly important, and it's unfortunate that this happened in front of it, but it would be unfortunate if it happened anywhere. So I understand there's that piece because the park is so significant to the city, but ultimately, this is a horrible crime no matter where it happens.
I'm sure it's on here and we can figure it out, but just, I didn't, I'm just wondering if, how far, the first one was how far, it was also close to Piedmont Park?
It was around Peachtree and 4th. So it's in a similar area. It's within a mile and a half or so of each other.
And that one was also late at night, or no?
It's about 10:40.
Oh, okay.
So similar time frame, but not overly late at night. These are occurring right before midnight.